Hello there, everyone. If you have been watching my bullet journal videos for a while, then you may be a little confused why I am in front of the screen right now. I don't usually appear on the bullet journal videos, but for 2020, I thought it'd be fun to have a moment where I intro each video. So all the Plan With Me's, I think from this video forward, are going to involve me saying a quick hello. I promise not to take up too much of your time because I know a lot of the fun comes in the planning itself. And this is also just a way to switch things up a bit for 2020, new year, getting a little crazy. Speaking of the new year, today I'm going to be sharing a very highly anticipated video, my 2020 bullet journal spreads. This year is an especially exciting year because I'm introducing my new bullet journal. Her name is Hazel. Again, if you've been watching my videos for a while, you know I like to name my bullet journals. So we've had Henry, Harper, Harry, and now Hazel, and this is what she looks like. She's an Archer and Olive dotted bullet journal. This is the first Archer and Olive notebook that I'm having, but it's gorgeous. It's beautiful green color. I'm so excited to have this in my hands. It's fun trying out new journals from new companies, and I've heard so many incredible things about Archer and Olive. So I will keep you posted on my thoughts as I use it. Without further ado though, I'm gonna let you guys get to the planning and switch over to voiceover mode. Hope you guys enjoy. Since this is the first spread in a new bullet journal, I really wanted it to pop, so I decided this would be a great opportunity to create a spread with lots of pictures and visuals. These images are a combination of my own as well as photos taken from Pinterest, and I'm pasting them in with some glue tape that I've fallen in love with because it makes gluing things into my journal so much easier than actually using glue. So I'll include a link in the description box below as well as links to all of the products that I'm using in today's video. On the left page, I have my 2019 reflection, or a mini 2019 reflection. 2019 was a big year for me, filled with lots of monumental moments, and probably one of the big ones was the fact that I graduated from the University of Toronto. On the right page, I have a 2020 vision page where I pasted some images related to my 2020 goals. If you want to see a whole video about me talking about my goals for 2020, let me know in the comments below. Very happy to do that if there's interest there. I think one of my favorite things on this 2020 page is the little poem that I pasted that says, "Sweetheart, marry your goals, remain committed to success, be loyal to your dreams. It's okay to choose yourself." And I just love the fact that it's just a reminder not to feel guilt over going after things you want in life. I was happy with how this looked with just the images pasted into the journal, but I think what made me really fall in love with this spread was the fact that I went back in with a black pen and layered on doodles and captions and quotes. It really adds a scrapbooky vibe, and it's a look that I quite enjoy. I want to do more of it in my journal because it's not only, I think, visually cool to look at, but it's also fun to create. I feel like a staple spread every year and in every new journal is to have somewhere where I can look at all the dates for the year. So that's where a simple year at a glance spread really comes in handy. All I'm doing here is creating 12 mini calendars. I didn't want to make this one too complicated or messy because really any detailed planning is going to be happening on other spreads each month. Although nothing really is happening here aside from the calendars themselves, this is one of the most time-consuming spreads to create because you have to write down every number for each day of the year. I'm pretty sure my hand wanted to fall off by the end of creating these 2 pages, which makes me think that maybe this wasn't the best spread to make right at the beginning of my planning session, but I am really happy with the results nonetheless. And I think what really kind of brought this spread together was the fact that I went in with my mild liner just to shade the top area where the heading would be for each of the months. And I think that little addition of shading just allowed the headings, the months, to really pop, and I ended up with a spread that I was really happy with. The pasting fun continued as you see me ripping up some scraps of paper that I had to create the heading for this next spread, which is my goal setting spread. As I mentioned earlier in the video, I have a good amount of goals for 2020, and one thing that I find really important when setting goals is to have a place to write them down and also a place to put actionable steps to achieving your goals. My goals this year pretty much fall into one of three categories, either work, personal, or reading. And for each category, I created a box to write down what my goals are within that category. And below, I can write a timeline. There's a timeline with 12 slots representing each of the 12 months in the year. And it's there where I can actually break down my goals into smaller goals or steps that are less intimidating, and also set deadlines for getting them accomplished. So for example, if I had a goal to drink a green smoothie every day, I might want to ease into that goal by making it a challenge for me to start drinking 1 smoothie a week in January, and then maybe 3 smoothies a week in February, 4 in March, yada yada, until I reach 7 days a week. It's really just about finding ways to make it easier for you to make progress to your goals, because if you just have like these big goals that are really intimidating, it can be hard to get started with them. And I say that from experience. Speaking of goals, one of my reading goals this year is to read 60, yes, that is 60 books. Quite ambitious, I know. So I thought it'd be a great idea to make a reading tracker where I can write down every book that I finished in 2020. This chart you're currently seeing me make has space to write down the title of each book, a rating out of 5, and also a small amount of room just to jot down a quick thought like would recommend or great plot twist. I feel like I get a lot of questions on my Instagram account at Caitlin Marie De Silva about what books I'm currently reading whenever I show like a video or a photo of me reading. So if you guys are interested, let me know in the comments below, and maybe I'll create a Goodreads account for you to follow along with my progress throughout 2020. Just as a side note, if you are ever making a big chart like this with a lot of lines, this is where I feel like the Muji pens in the size 0.38 are really a great tool to use, because all of those horizontal lines you're seeing are very skinny. So I have a guide and separation in my table without it feeling clunky. It's just a fantastic pen to use whenever you have any detailed work to do. The beginning of a new year can always be a bit of a transition, because you're going from holiday mode to regular life, and after indulging in great meals and sweets during the holidays, I really just start to crave getting back into a normal routine, especially with my diet. So meal prepping is a great way to do that. So I made this meal prep planner to help make the process easier, because I do feel like meal prepping can be overwhelming if you don't plan ahead of time. On the left page, there's a spot to write down meal ideas for the whole week, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And based on that filled in table, there's a spot to write a shopping list on the top of the right page. On the right page, there's also a space to plan out the actual meal prepping process. So that is the order that you'll be prepping your dishes and ingredients in, and writing that down can just make everything flow really nicely when it comes time to actually cooking. For example, anything that takes time to cook in the oven is usually something I'll do near the beginning of my meal prepping process, so that I can make use of that time to prep other things. There's also a section for any notes that you have, so things that you want to remember next time you meal prep. Maybe it's a dish that you would or wouldn't repeat, or anything like that that can help you make your next meal prep session more of a success. Last but not least is the weekly spread, which is always my favorite spread to put together, because this is the spread that I use the most often when I'm journaling. So for this new weekly spread, on the left page, I made a column with a section for each day of the week where you can write down the main event or 2 that you have for each day. So if you're a student, this would be a great place to write down due dates, because it'll really stand out. Or if you work in an office, you can write down deadlines and or important meetings. I use the events space a lot to write down my main tasks for the day. For each day of the week, there's also a section to write out a more detailed to-do list. On the bottom right page, there's a habit tracker, which I feel like incorporating a habit tracker into a weekly spread is a really great tactic if you have a hard time filling in or keeping up with your habit trackers. This is right in a place where you're going to often see it, because the weekly spread is one that we're probably going to be looking at the most because it has our day-to-day plans. I think it's definitely the addition of color that brought this spread all together. And something I really love about this spread is it's one that's really easy to duplicate but customize with the colors that you choose to use, whether it be by just picking like your favorite colors or coordinating those colors with the seasons of the year. This spread right here, absolutely my favorite spread from this 2020 setup. I would love to know what your favorite spread was in the comment section down below. Give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Don't forget to hit the subscribe and the notification bell, because there will be a January Plan With Me coming soon, and you definitely want to be on top of that when it gets released. So let's not forget to give a warm welcome to my girl Hazel here. I will see you all very soon with a new video, and until then, bye everyone.
Do just what you want.